Hello boys, this is meant for class 12th, both biology as well as computer boys. This is so because we are going to discuss and reflect upon UPSC-NDA questions related to biology. If you recollect from your memory, I have posted in our group, WhatsApp group, about the various topics that are covered under UPSC-NDA. And I also said that the weightage of biology is around 40 to 44 marks. That is 10 to 11 MCQs will be there on an average. And the topics that I listed, 8 topics I listed, and in that second one is basis of life, protoplasm, cytoplasm, cells, cell organelles and tissues. So basically I am covering this topic today. So we start up with this straight away. Question 1, which is differentiately permeable? Is it cell wall? What do you mean by differentiately permeable? Selective permeability means anything that comes from outside and wants to enter inside the cell, there is a covering outside that will not allow automatically to go inside. Similarly, any material that is inside the cell wants to go out, cannot go out automatically. There is a filter. Now the question is, which is that? Is it cell wall? Is it middle lamellae, that is the also layer? Is it cell membrane or plasma membrane, or is it cuticle? So biology boys, of course, you know cell membrane. Cell membrane is selective permeability. So it selects the materials that are incoming as well as outgoing. So the answer is obviously cell membrane. Question 2. Which one of the following cell organelle remains enveloped by a single membrane? So we said when we were talking about chapter Cell, the unit of life in class 11th. Remember, it's from class 11th. And we were talking about the external structure and anatomical features. When we were discussing about the anatomical features of cell organelles, remember we started from outside, periphery, and went inside. So periphery always speaks of how many layers are present in that cell organelle. Now what is the question? A cell organelle should have single membrane, no double members. Of course, all of you know mitochondria is double membranous, plastid is double membranous, ribosome is also double membranous. So left out one is lysosome. Of course, I must also make you to remember and recollect both the computer boys as well as biology boys. Lysosomes are suicidal bags. That's also sometimes will be asked. So suicidal bags of the cell are called lysosomes. So computer boys, please do remember this. And which one of these give mechanical support to cell? Let us see. Cilia, of course, hair-like structures, they are present around paramecium. I'm sure computer boys also must have seen in our biology lab when they were in class 10th, that hair-like structures present around the paramecium, the cilia. And lysosome, just now we discussed, it is a cell organelle. Endoplasmic reticulum, ER we say, these are the bridges, just like railway bridges, they form connecting nuclear membrane with the cell membrane. So naturally their network formed inside the cell, so it has to be that. And Golgi bodies, of course, small organelles again present, but they are present restricted to cytoplasm only. Hence the answer should be ER, endoplasmic reticulum. Fourth, the unit for measurement of sedimentation of ribosome. We said the ribosome will have 2 subunits, one bigger unit and one smaller unit. Like for example, 40S bigger unit, 30S. And we also said something like 70S and 30S, 80S and 20S, like that. So what is this S? That S stands for, as you are picking up the answer, Swedberg. Yes. It's not angstroms, it's not micron, it's not nanometer. It is Swedberg. This unit is named after the scientist who discovered that. That's why Swedberg is S. So we say when we say 40S, that S stands for Swedberg. And question 5th, extranuclear DNA. Normally DNA is found in nucleus. Now the question is, other than nucleus, where is the DNA present? Is it lysosomes? No. Is it Golgi body? No. Mitochondria? Yes, definitely. and none of this. So answer is C. But I want all of you, including computer boys, to remember, along with mitochondria, plastids also will have their own DNA. So you must remember, two organelles in the cell will have their own DNA along with DNA present in the nucleus. One is mitochondria, second one is plastid. Okay, and in case plastid is not there in the choice, he may give you chloroplast, chromoplast, like that, leucoplast. So that also comes under that. So keep remember this. Then question 6. The ribosome of 70S sediment coefficient breaks into two subunits. And what are those two subunits? Obviously 50S and 30S. But of course, computer boys, no mathematics here. Don't say 50 plus 38 is equal to 80. How it can be 70S? It is Swedberg units. Okay, and there is overlapping of the subunits. It is not mathematics. It's okay, biology. And question 7. Lysosomes are called suicidal bags. Just now I said. Why are they called suicidal bags? It's because of the enzymes, and those enzymes are hydrolytic in nature. So presence of hydrolytic enzymes make lysosomes to blast themselves. Since they are blasting off themselves coming out of the cell, they are called suicidal cells or suicidal bags of the cell. Question 9. A cluster of ribosomes held together. Cluster means group. Group of ribosomes held together on mRNA. RNA, of course, three types. Biology boys know. mRNA is messenger RNA, tRNA, transfer RNA, and rRNA, ribosomal RNA. So here on messenger RNA, group of ribosomes will be present. What do you call that? That's called polysome. Okay, polysome. And then question 9. The oxysomes are made up of. Oxysomes again, they are micromolecules present inside the cell. They are made up of lipoproteins, lipids plus proteins, lipoproteins. And question 10. Mitochondria are called powerhouses of the cell. Please remember this. The statement itself can be a question. What are powerhouses of the cell? Computer boys, remember, powerhouses of the cell are called mitochondria because they store energy and then release energy. So they contain enzymes, true, but we are talking of power. Release ATP, yes. Why? ATP, if you expand, adenosine triphosphate. This is energy currency of the cell. Again, this may be a question in UPSC-NDA. What is the energy currency of a cell? ATP. And then contain ribosomes? No. Contain RNA, DNA? No. Only DNA. So mitochondria, in relation to power, it is release of ATP, which is not a membrane bound structure. There is no membrane. Centriole, okay. Nucleus, all of you know, it's got double membrane. ER, just now we discussed double membrane. None of this. And what is left out is centriole. This way of answering, computer boys, please, even though you may not be knowing the correct answer, rule out the wrong ones. This is one of the best ways to answer an unknown one. Of course, if you know it, straight away you answer the question. Unknown one is, the possibility is this. And remember, there's a negative mark. Hence, you must be very, very accurate in answering the questions. Question 12. Non-living substances of cells are collectively known as non-living. It's not a living. Cytoplasm living, plasmagen living, mesoplasm living. So left out one is deutoplasm. Deutoplasm. And centromere is also called primary construction. Centromere, which is present in chromosomes. Okay. The bead-like structure, Rudraksha, bead-like structure that connects two ribbon-like structures in a chromosome. So centromere, centrosome, that is centromere. Okay, and plastids contain plastids. I said 1 rupee coins. If you keep one above the other, you get a stack of coins. Like that, each 1 rupee coin is a thylakoid. When you keep thylakoids one above the other, you get a stack of thylakoids. That stack of thylakoids is granum. Like that, many grana will be there inside a liquid called stoma. So there is a grana and stoma. So thylakoids is the obvious answer because cristae is in mitochondria. Microtubules, of course, they are related to cilia, flagella, all that. Porous membrane is related to membrane. What we are talking is plastids. So left out one is thylakoids. Which of the following is semi-autonomous? Means it can have its own freedom. Lysosome, spirosome, peroxisome, mitochondria. When will a organelle get autonomy, freedom? When it has got its own DNA. DNA is the deciding factor. So naturally, mitochondria is the answer. And spirosomes are associated with, they are mainly responsible for lipid metabolism. Don't worry about the spelling, it's lipid metabolism. So it's not protein, it's not nitrogen, it's not glycolate, it is fat metabolism. Spirosomes are associated with fat metabolism, lipid metabolism. And of course, I have shown you the figure also when you are in 11th class, the structure of PPLO, smallest cell so far observed. It's not bacteria. Bacteria are big, viruses are relatively small, yeast is big. PPLO, what is that PPLO? Pleuro pneumonia like organisms. Okay, PPLO. And now 18, which is the exoskeleton of a plant cell. Exoskeleton, obviously in a plant cell it has to be cell wall, because in animal cell it is the plasma membrane. Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, they are inside the cell. Now exo means outside. Outside skeleton is obviously cell wall. And just now we were discussing about the plasma membrane, fluid mosaic model. That means our skin plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. So there will be two layers of lipids, bilipid, and in between the two layers of lipids there will be protein molecules. So this model has become very famous and most accepted model as far as plasma membrane is concerned, and this is proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Of course, in case of scientist names, you have to remember them. Okay, there is no logic in this, you have to remember that. Question 20. Semi-autonomous nature of chloroplast is due to DNA and RNA polymerase and ribosome. All the three will be there in chloroplast, hence all the above. And ribosomes of chloroplast are of the type 70S. Of course, in chloroplast, 70S ribosomes will be present. Ribosomes are attached to endoplasmic reticulum through that linkage. What is the linkage? That is ribophorins or ribophorins. And largest cell organelle is chloroplast. That's the biggest one, chloroplast. And which one of the following is known as storehouse of RNA? That is nucleolus. Nucleolus contains RNA. It is not nucleus, remember. And the last one, the longest plant cell is fiber tracheid, the longest plant cell. It is the part, tracheid, vessel, companion cell. So it is the fibers. Fibers are the longest ones. It is not tracheids, it is not vessel. This is in case of phloem, okay, companion cell and fiber. This is phloem fibers. Phloem fibers are longest in the plant.